You are ready, Master.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for joining us. We're here at DTT to continue discussing the Chanchi instructions from Master YongHua. We are still going through the text that we talked about last week. We're on slide 261. He says the Dharma is not fixed. Since there's no fixed Dharma, how could it be enclosed within a building? I'm not sure why he chooses to use this particular angle to explain the Buddha Dharma. I think it's it's confusing to me. Okay, I'm not clear why he used the concept of building. But basically, the Buddha Dharma is everywhere. Okay, everything is the Buddha Dharma. In other words, that's how I would prefer to explain it to you. You don't say the Dharma is contained in a building or that building, but the Dharma is everything. Okay? That's the Dharma, you the Dharma, am the Dharma. Okay? And therefore, no one has exclusive rights to the Dharma. You cannot say that I am the only true Dharma here. Okay? Or I am a successor to Master YongHua's Dharma. Or I am the new version of Master YongHua. That's nonsense. It's here, it's over there, it's in Asia, it's in Africa, it's everywhere. All right? And so it's only because you don't understand the Dharma, that's why you only see it as, let's say, at my master's temples, our temples, and so forth. It's because you don't have wisdom yet. When you have wisdom, you look at, a marketplace in Nicaragua, you say, oh, wow, that's a Dharma right there, in action. All right? So it's not about fixed building, whatever. This is too limited. Therefore, you can ask a question I asked earlier to that person, observe how he responds. Dharma is here, then where is it not? Okay? And so, then why did the patriarchs say that I brought the Dharma from India to China, and then from China to the US? Since the Dharma is everywhere, so isn't he contradicting himself that the Dharma moved from China to the US now? It was from India that moved to China. Okay? How do you explain that? Anyone? You see, when I present a new angle, you are, never heard of it before. Yeah? If the Dharma is everywhere, why do you have to move it? Yes, 6.
Yep, Master, I think it's because we don't have the view of everything's a Dharma yet, so we have to follow the patriarch to learn.
You have to follow? Okay, not clear. Getting there, but it's not doesn't answer why. Why do we have to move it? Dharma is still in India. Dharma is still in China. You ask the Chinese, they tell you, hey, we are the Mahayana. America is fake Mahayana. We are the authentic Mahayana. Because we have all the Chinese scriptures. They don't. They're right. So they have the Dharma. Yeah? All the Thai people, the Theravadins people, they say, we are the Dharma, you're not the Dharma, you're the evil. The deviant Dharma that you are impersonating the Buddha Dharma for your own personal benefits, fame and glory, okay? The Dharma has always stayed under the Pali text. Anyone I ask a question, then I have to answer myself. Với mô tan nhỉ?
Thank you, Master. Is it because the Dharma has to be brought where there are people who have the blessings to hear the Dharma?
Right now, people in Ethiopia and people in Russia can tune in to YouTube and listen to the Dharma. So they do have blessings. We make it a lot easier for them to listen to Dharma nowadays than before. We invested heavily in doing that. So if people didn't have blessings before, they use our blessings to make it accessible very easily with very little blessings. Yes, 8.
제 생각에는 모든 것들이 시기와 조건이 맞아야 된다고 생각하거든요. 뭐 사업도 그렇고 모든 인간사가 그렇기 때문에 선화상님께서 제 생각에는 짧은 소견이지만 중국에서 미국으로 가져온 거는 중국이 공산화가 됐다라는 그런 시대적 배경도 연인이 됐을 것 같고 미국이 그래도 전 세계에서 모든 것을 좀 포용하고 열려있는 국가고 제가 많은 곳을 다녀보진 않았지만 미국이 그래도 복이 있다고 생각해서 법을 전파하는 데는 폐쇄적인 공산국가인 중국보다는 미국을 선택하지 않았을까라는 제 짧은 소견이었습니다.
Master, this is my opinion, but this is very humble opinion. Everything, I believe, has a time and condition, or the right time and conditions, such as business. The reason that Dharma came from China to the U.S. is because the China didn't have the right condition. For example, they were communist, whereas the U.S. it's more open, and also they're more including the differences, and I believe there's more blessings. So the spreading Dharma in the U.S. is the more ideal condition. Thank you.
Let's face it, the profound Mahayana is still in Chinese texts. It's not in English. It's not in Korean. It is in Chinese. And therefore, you cannot say that China does not have the Dharma. It's there. It has always been there, never left. Okay? And that's super duper Dharma as far as I'm concerned. There's so much profound teaching available only in Chinese language that we don't have. Not in Korean, not in Vietnamese, not in English, definitely, certainly not in English. So it's still in China. Let's face it. You may not like it, you may say whatever you want, but the teachings, the Dharma, those texts that recorded the teachings from the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas, that treasury is still in Chinese language, the old Chinese characters, not the new ones. The real treasure is all in the old, those Chinese characters. Okay? That's a fact. You may not like it, but that's the way it is. Until that text is translated into English, they still have the treasury of the Chinese Dharma, of the Buddha Dharma that we don't have. So how can we say that we have Mahayana and they don't? It's not true. We still have to go back to them to get the advanced teachings. There are a lot of advanced teachings that my Master YongHua, never brought to the United States. He brought enough to build a foundation for the future American Mahayana, but certainly not the entirety of the Chinese Mahayana. That's a fact. Even Ms. Help said, I understand. Not all of it. To paraphrase him. Okay, so the Chinese still has a Dharma. Yes, JMT.
Đấy sư nhiêu. Con nghĩ cái pháp đó là pháp môn chư Phật chư Bồ Tát truyền cho chúng sanh. Thì bây giờ đầu tiên là phát xuất từ Ấn Độ trước, thì sau này đủ duyên rồi thì ngài Đùa Đạt Ma bưng qua Ấn Độ truyền cho ngài Huệ Khả, rồi truyền về sau với Đại Thừa. Bây giờ tạm thời cái Trung Hoa nó hết cái duyên, thì bên Mỹ này nó đủ cái phước, đủ duyên, đủ cái y báo chánh báo, thì nó tới Mỹ, thì đến cái giai đoạn mà thầy nói tới dịch tiếng Anh tới bao nhiêu đó thôi. Sau này nếu người Mỹ, cộng đồng các sắc tộc ở Mỹ này mà đủ nhân duyên hơn, thì các pháp khác nó cao hơn, chư Bồ Tát sẽ dạy các pháp cao hơn. Và tất cả các pháp đều vô thường, không có ở một cái xứ nào người Hoa, người Nhật, người Việt hay là người Mỹ nào cả. Chỗ nào cộng đồng nào đủ phước, đủ duyên, cá nhân nào đủ phước, đủ duyên thì chư Phật Bồ Tát tới giáo hóa. Vì các pháp đều vô thường. Mà quan trọng là cá nhân hoặc cộng đồng đó đủ duyên thì được hưởng. Con xin hết.
Master, I think that the Dharma door that the Buddha and Bodhisattva transmitted to living beings, first it started from, hello?
Nghe không?
Yeah.
Hả? First start in
It's very loud. First we couldn't hear him a few nights ago. Now is it you can?
Hello, can you hear me?
And Hong's voice is now a little softer.
So right now it started from India because the condition arrived that Master Bodhidharma has to bring the Dharma to China and transmit that to Venerable Huike. The Dharma itself, Venerable Shinchu say that all Dharma is impermanent. So right now, China doesn't have the condition and the y báo chánh báo. Therefore, the Dharma now was brought to America because American people, we have more condition and we have more blessings. And
Proper
gradually,
and
when we have
dependent
the blessings,
retribution.
again, the Dharma is impermanent. So then the Buddha and the Bodhisattva will eventually bring the better Dharma to fit and to help with the people. It is not the Dharma belong to any particular group, community, or individual. However, those who have enough blessings, enough condition, the Dharma will be bestowed upon them. So the most important thing is for you to have enough conditions and blessing to be able to receive the Dharma. That's all.
What is background noise?
Master, that was Chu Mountain Temple.
So it was what?
That was from Chu Mountain Temple.
What temple?
Oh, Chu Mountain Temple. I muted it.
Okay. All right. If the Chinese say that they have the Dharma, if that's the case, then you too, go ahead.
Thank you, Master. We have 2 comments and then a question. The first comment is from Chun Zhao. Proper Dharma has to be taught by patriarchs, and that's why the Dharma is brought by patriarchs to different places. The next comment is from Cordelia Lay. Emitofuo, Master.
Hang on. Let me answer the first one.
Oh,
If the Dharma must be taught by the patriarch, where is the patriarch? Huh? Question number 2.
from Cordelia Lay. Emitofuo, Master. Dharma depends on the Dharma vessel.
All right. And what is the question?
The question is the third one coming up from, I believe it's Gold Forest Apple. To bring the Dharma to China means bringing the skills of understanding. Does that mean bringing the skills of understanding the Dharma to people? Thank you, Master.
Excellent. If the Chinese stand up and say that we have Mahayana, they don't. They're entitled to do that, yes, and they do. They do have all these beautiful, profound texts, right? They do have it. Then I would ask them, which one is important for me? Yeah, the Dharma in its entirety is useless to me. I want to know which one of your treasury is of value to me. The analogy is this. You may have the gold, okay, under Dharma Treasury temple. Shh, it's a secret. Don't tell anyone. Okay? We have a gold mine here underneath. Okay? Would you be impressed? My point here is that you may have the gold mine, but you're still poorer than hell because you cannot access it. You understand? Same analogy. If they think they have, the Chinese have the Buddha Dharma and we don't. And I say, I agree. So which one do I need to study next for me? Which one does he need to study next? Which one does she need to study next? Right? That's what the Dharma is supposed to do, to serve you, serve me, serve everyone. Yes? So which one do I use? You cannot tell me that get the whole mountain because I don't have enough time during the day to do that. I don't live long enough. I'm coming up on my expiration date. I don't have much time left. So what you can claim, how can you claim you have the Dharma? You don't know about it. Okay? Same thing. If someone claims that they have Mahayana, okay? You are entitled to ask them, what does this mean? You can ask them about Chan, you can ask them about Pure Land, you can ask them about Vinaya, okay? Because they're supposed to have the treasury. If they cannot point out to you what those things are in the Mahayana they are supposed to own, then they're no different than the Chinese. They don't know what they have. Is it clear? On the other hand, to have something doesn't necessarily have that you mean to have to be, it has to be in your possession. No. We may be here in the United States, but we know which ones are important to us, whereas they don't. This group, Chinese group, same thing. Understand? So we the one who could recognize the treasury, they don't. And therefore, they cannot say that they own the treasury because they don't even know what they have. When it's your time, you cannot say that I'm successful, Master YongHua, whatever. When it's your time to teach, it's your Dharma, it's no longer mine. Okay? Right now it's mine because I explain it to you. But when I'm dead, it becomes your Dharma. You must take responsibility for it. You cannot claim that say, this is Master YongHua's Dharma. You should say, this is what I understand from his teachings. That's honesty. That's humility. That's truthfulness. Then you have a chance to understand the Buddha Dharma. If you think that you own the Buddha Dharma, you don't understand the Buddha Dharma at all. That's what he's teaching. That's the point. You own this thing. You have a Rembrandt. You hear this story so often. You have this masterpiece painting in your garage. It's been sitting there for 10 generations in your family already. And you're going to sell that painting there for $10 to Goodwill. That's what we do here in America, by the way. We have junk and we throw the goodwill, okay, give the goodwill, and then you buy it for goodwill for $10. And it turns out to be worth 10 million bucks because it's an authentic Rembrandt, an authentic Picasso. So can you claim that because it's in your house that you have a Rembrandt? No, you cannot claim it's a Rembrandt. To you, it's a piece of junk. It's only a Rembrandt to the people who recognize it. So here, similarly, we're the one who recognize the Dharma. We're the one who understands where to look for answers in the Dharma. Okay, so Master YongHua brought that knowledge to the United States, gave it to my generation. Okay, and therefore we have that insider knowledge about the Dharma that's more than just a series of words, number of pages, books, or electronic files. Okay? We know the value. It's a Rembrandt right there. It's a Picasso over there. It's not a piece of junk. And that's why that knowledge is now in the United States, not in China, not in India, not in Thailand. So if you want that knowledge, you have to come here. The people here have that knowledge. Is that clear? So it has moved, that knowledge has been transmitted to my generation. And this is a very, very big deal because it's so deliberate. They know there's no way that one man can bring all of the Chinese Mahayana to the West. Very much like when Bodhidharma brought Mahayana from India to China, what did he bring? Chan technology, that's all. We have the Chan technology. They don't. Not in China, not over there. Without Chan technology, you cannot understand the value. You cannot recognize the value of the Dharma. If you're in this building, you said, why this building is gone, is as if the windows are gone, the doors are broken. Again, he uses buildings. So are you saying this Dharma is not going to run? If so, where does it go? Again, two Chinese. This Dharma is neither decrease or increase or decrease, neither define or pure, neither produce or destroyed. Okay? So it's true. Okay? Neither increase or decrease from China, not increase in the U.S., neither defile, not pure. Okay? Don't think that the Dharma, that the pure Dharma is also the defiled Dharma, is also not only Dharma that's produced, also the Dharma that is destroyed. Okay? All that is Buddha Dharma. How can I say is one enclosed in a particular building or enclosed particular whatever? Okay? Building, organization, language, ethnicity, person, authority, Buddhist organization, Buddhist authority, none. It's about, can you recognize the Dharma here in the US, the Dharma there in China, Dharma there in Kenya. Okay? How can one say it is enclosed within a particular building? This statement is simply pitiful. I don't know why he keep on cutting it down about the Dharma in a building. Okay. However, in the Buddha Dharma I speak of, there's neither good or bad. See? The Dharma he's speaking of is not pure, not defiled. Neither good nor bad. Why then we keep on emphasizing to you, you should be a good person, you should do good? It's because we teach you that it's for confused people. We should make it easy for you, simplify it for you, and select a track for you to ride on so that you get there a lot quicker, so that you can see yourself too, that it's neither good nor bad. Until you get there, don't insist that you only know that the Dharma is good. The Dharma is also bad. That's why it's neither good nor bad. The Dharma is not here with me, nor is it there with you. It permeates throughout the entire universe, throughout the entire Dharma realm. Oh, that's what I just said. Thank you. Okay, why do you have to go to the building? Dear Master, we would never just come to my house alone. Came to my house alone, wouldn't that be a selfish Dharma? Oh, come on, move on. To lonely for Dharma is identical Dharma. Okay, forget it. Therefore, we speak of Buddha Dharma regardless of whether a Dharma or non-Dharma is still Buddha Dharma. Yes. Okay? This is authentic Buddha Dharma. I want you to hear this, because after you leave, you read other stuff, you hear other people speak, and they say, I know the Buddha Dharma, this is Master YongHua said so, okay? Those are losers. Even Catholicism, Christianity, and all the external paths are all encompassed within the Buddha Dharma. That is insulting to these people. I ask you, I submit to you, and we stop speaking like this. People get offended. We have no respect for them. It's like, you are contained within me. I've been trying to tell Daniel that I'm guilty of that. And Daniel says, I don't believe you. Consistently. Every single time I try to tell him that, we know a lot about your Catholicism, about your God and so forth. He says, I don't believe you. So I've been wasting my time. So that's cut it out. Okay? That stop saying that all encompassed within the Buddha Dharma. Isn't it enough the Buddha Dharma is everywhere? Okay? Cut it out. Outside the Dharma is nothing. And within the Dharma, everything is there. Okay? Yeah, it's very Chinese. They say, nothing is outside of it, and everything is contained within it. It's too Chinese. In English, you simply say, the Dharma is everything. It's everywhere. You just don't get it. I look at you, I say the Buddha Dharma. They look at you, say they look at you, and they say a Korean girl. That's part of Buddha Dharma. Okay? It's how you look at it. If you have wisdom, you see, there's the Buddha Dharma there. You don't have wisdom, you say, you are just a girl. You're just a man. Okay? Yeah. Look at that restroom. Even in a place like the restroom has Buddha Dharma, neither present nor absent. Okay? We just covered that, didn't we? It's everywhere. See, it takes him too long. It's so Chinese. Doesn't abandon even the dirtiest place, nor to stay in the purest place. Okay? Why? Why keep on going on and on and on? Okay? He's arguing with people. He's a teacher. He doesn't have to argue with people. They don't have to agree with him. His job is to teach them. And of course, most of the people don't get it. That's not the whole point. You have to teach the proper Dharma. The accurate Dharma. Whether people believe it or not is not that important. Okay? Most people will not believe it, no, not understand it. Only a few, like Huike, would understand it from Bodhidharma. Okay? That's how it is. Stop whining. We're at the end of this section. Any questions and comments? All right? Let's continue with the next tape.
它是无在无不在啊，那个最肮脏的地方，那个法也不离开；最清净的地方，那个法也不停止在那里。大家有什么意见吗？
Stay in the purest place. That is the wonder of the Dharma.
我今天也有对你们大家讲，我说其他的这个道场，他怕人跑了。
Today, I want to tell all of you, I say, other way places are afraid that people will leave.
我这个道场呢，就怕人来。正相反，因为来一个人，我就要费了很多的这种精神来教。那么说为什么？
This way place of mine worries about people coming. It is just the exact opposite. Because when someone comes, I need to spend a lot of energy to teach and transform that person.
为什么你又教化人？我教化是有缘人，没有缘的人呢，我没有法子教。
Then why do you want to teach and transform people? I teach and transform those with whom I have an affinity with.
不耽误。
As for those without affinity, I have no way to teach and transform them.
我没有法子教化别人，就是释迦牟尼佛，也没有法子教化和这个佛没有缘的人。
Not only do I have no way to teach and transform those without affinity, even Shakyamuni Buddha had no way to teach those who lacked affinity with him.
所以呀，那么等这个和佛没有缘的人呢，要佛的弟子去教。
So, for those without affinity with the Buddha, it is for the Buddha's disciples to teach and transform them.
在佛住世的时候啊，有一次到一个国家里去解下安居。
When the Buddha was in the world, there was a time when he went to a country for the summer retreat.
什么叫解下安居呢？就是在这个4月15到7月15这个期间呢。
What is summer retreat? It refers to the period from the 15th of April to the 15th of July.
这个比丘、比丘尼啊，出家人呢，不走路。
During this time, bhikshus, bhikshunis, and left-home people do not walk.
住到什么地方啊？就在那儿住，也不周围不走出100步去，你在那儿住，这叫解下安居。为什么？
Wherever they reside, they would stay put. They don't venture more than 100 steps from that spot, and this is called the summer retreat.
为什么不走路呢？因为这个时候啊，地上很多虫子，有很多众生。
Why don't they walk? Because at this time, there are many insects and many living beings on the ground.
怕这个比丘走路啊，无意中啊，把这个众生就给踩死，所以要安居。
They are afraid that as the bhikshus walk, they would inadvertently step on and kill living beings. That is why they settle down in one place.
咱们这个到这个国家去安居，这个人呢就不欢迎，不欢迎这。
So he wanted to do the summer retreat in this country, but some people did not welcome him, did not welcome the Buddha.
国家的人不欢迎佛生。
The people of this country did not welcome the Buddha to settle down there.
佛呀，就派这个木建林呢，到那个先去。这国家的人一见到木建林，不欢迎了。
The Buddha then sent Maudgalyayana ahead to that place. The people in this country, upon seeing Maudgalyayana, they welcomed him.
叩头顶礼来欢迎这位尊者。
You finally came. They bowed down to welcome the Venerable One.
有人就问佛到这个地方，这个人他反而不欢迎，那佛的徒弟到这儿来，他怎么又欢迎这些人？
Someone asked, he said, when the Buddha came to this place, the people, on the contrary, did not welcome him. How is it that the Buddha's disciple was welcomed when he came here? These people.
你就知道，这些个人呢，以前在无量劫以前，他们 这是一般疯子。
The Buddha said, "You don't know. These people, innumerable eons ago, were a swarm of bees."
那么这个疯子在山上呢住，就有2个掌柴的。这2个掌柴呢，一个父亲，就一个一个儿子。
So these bees lived in the mountains. There were 2 woodcutters, one of whom was the father, and the other was his son.
这个父亲一见着这帮疯子，就把眉头皱起来。
As soon as the father saw this swarm of bees, he furrowed his brow.
哎呀，不要见这疯子，这个不得了，看他咬的。
Ah, get away from them quickly. Do not go near those bees. This is serious. Afraid of getting stung.
那么这个儿子呢，就发愿说：“爸爸，你不要怕，我发愿他。”
So the son made a vow, saying, "Father, don't be afraid. I have made a vow."
虽然是疯子，当我将来要成佛的时候，我要正果得道，我要先度这一般疯子。
Even though they are bees, when I attain Buddhahood in the future, if I realize fruition and accomplish the way, I will first cross over this group of bees.
所以呀，今天这个我和穆建连呢，就是那个发愿度疯子，这个儿子。
So today, Maha Madgalyayana is the son who made the vow to liberate the bees.
那么佛呢，就是当初这个父亲，所以这个他对我没有对徒弟这个关系。
The Buddha was that father, therefore, they had no affinity with me, but had affinity with my disciple. They had such a relationship.
那么，所以说，所度的那有缘，佛度。那么佛度。
So it is said, those who are crossed over are the ones with affinity. The Buddha crosses over those with affinity.
都有缘人，何况我是佛的弟子。
So if the Buddha crosses over those with affinity, all the more reason for me as a disciple of the Buddha.
要度有缘。那么这个有缘的人，他来了，我赶他也不走。
Certainly, I must also cross over those with affinity. So, when such a person comes, even if I shoo them away, they won't leave.
没有缘的人，我留他，他也不在去。
For those without affinity, if I keep them, they won't stay for long.
并且有的回家被我不知道什么时候打怕了，一见着，这个法师他就。
But some of them, or perhaps I don't know when they were scared by the beating, but as soon as they see this Dharma master,
喝的战战兢兢就要望迎而逃，这个是有一种阴影。
tremble with fear and want to escape at the sight of the master's shadow. So this is all due to a certain kind of affinity.
谁和我有缘，我就打他一顿香打，他也不管。
Ah, so whoever has an affinity with me, I will strike that person with an incense board. Ah, and the person will not leave.
没有缘的人，我就天天给他扣几个头，他也要跑。
For those without affinity, even if I bow to them every day, they will still run away.
所以不讲没有缘。那么再者，
Thus, it's all about the issue of having or not having affinities.
我在这儿弘扬佛法，我不怕人跑。
Furthermore, as I propagate the Buddha Dharma here, I am not afraid of people running away.
为什么说不怕人跑，那么怕人来呢？我也不怕人。
Why do I say, not afraid of people running away, afraid of people coming? I am not afraid of people coming either.
刚才说怕人来呢，只不过费点精神。那么人来了呢，我也不怕；跑了我也不怕。
Just now, when I said afraid of people coming, I meant it only consumes a bit of my energy. Therefore, when people do come, I am not afraid either. When they run away, I am not afraid either.
来了和没来是一样，跑了和没跑是一样。
Coming and not coming is the same. Running away and not running away is the same.
因为什么呢？这个法界都是我的，他再跑远也跑不出法界去。
Why is that? This Dharma realm is all mine. Even if they run, no matter how far, they still can't run beyond the bounds of the entire Dharma realm.
他要能跑出这个法界，那算跑了。
If they can run outside of this Dharma realm, then that's considered good.
没有到这个法界外边，没有跑。
If they haven't reached the outer bounds of this Dharma realm, then they haven't run.
好像那个孙悟空一个跟斗打108000里，还在佛那个手掌里，所以他打来打去。
It's like that Sun Wukong. Ah, with one somersault he travels 108,000 li, yet he was still within the Buddha's palm.
打去还是在，所以跑来跑去还在这个地方，好像这个果子。
So, whether you fight back and forth, you are still in this place. So whether you run here and there, you are still in this place.
以前也来了又跑，跑了又来。
It's like Guoheng, who also came and then ran away and then came back.
现在不知道怎么是有这个有胶水呀，不知道是什么，现在粘上，粘得跑不动。
Nowadays, I don't know how, but it's like there's glue. I don't know what it is, but once it sticks, you can't run freely anymore.
Okay, stop. Good Lord, 52 already. We can go very fast. There's no way to go back to the first one except rolling the ball. I see. Thank you. Okay, as I go along, I will fix a few of the English translations and see if you agree with me so that we can improve our English translations a little bit next time around. Okay, so he repeats the same thing. Dharma is not, does not shun the dirty places and prefer the pure places. Okay, yeah. Okay, still Buddha Dharma, Buddha Dharma, there's nothing and everything here. Okay, no present absent, here. Okay, so the Dharma, so he talked about that. Now today I want to tell you, other way places are afraid that people will leave. Okay, other way places are afraid of people to leave because other way places need people to live. This way place of mind we worry about. Okay, this way place of mind, karma, we worry about people coming. That's just the exact opposite. Because when someone comes, I need to spend energy. A lot of energy to teach and transform that person. So why do you want to teach and transform people? So now he goes into when you teach and transform people, you must have affinity with those people before you can teach and transform. And it's a very important concept in Mahayana. We need to have affinity, yuan, okay, with the people. This is why when you have no affinity with people, it's no point. You cannot connect with them at all. Okay, and when you do, then there's an instant connection. And so those without affinity have no way of teaching to teach and transform them. So this is fundamental to the Dharma teaching. Okay. Even not him, Master YongHua, but the Buddha himself have no ways of teaching those with whom he has no affinity. So if it's the case, then usually it's his disciples, the Buddha's disciples, who take over the responsibility of teaching and transforming those people. Okay? And so he went into this anecdote, a very famous anecdote they kept on repeating over and over again. The Buddha was in a country in India. And India at the time had a lot of small kingdoms. And so he would be invited to go speak the Dharma from one kingdom to the next and so forth. So he brought his own monks and nuns along with him. And he went to a country in India for a summer retreat. Summer retreat is a concept that the Buddha used back then. It refers to the period of 15th day of the 4th month to the 15th day of the 7th month. Okay, because it's a lunar thing. So that's why a 15th day of not April, but the 4th month, and so forth. Okay? The 15th day of July. Okay. So lunar calendar. This is we call summer retreat because this is in smack in the midst of the summer in India. And at the time, when the Buddha was alive, he was doing summer retreats to himself. So this is very important Dharma. Okay, where the monks and nuns they didn't walk and they would stay put. They rarely take a few more than 100 steps from that spot, and that Vinaya actually stretch it a little bit more. You can get away from it, but you have to come back within a short period. Okay, that particular Dharma is very detailed. I learned that. I witnessed that in Taiwan because my master and Master Srina's temples, we don't have summer retreats anymore. Yes, you too.
Thank you, Master. Before getting to the next question, I would just like to thank those who are watching us on YouTube, and to please consider to like and subscribe so we can share our Master's Dharma continually. We have a question here from Ray Zhuang. Master, does having affinities with someone mean that they have afflicted each other in the past and have karmic ties? Otherwise, how does one have affinity with someone else? Thank you.
Yes, you created karmas to each other. That's how you have affinities. So for example, you help someone and you have good affinities to that person, or you hear many stories in these Chanchi tapes of Master Xinhua. There are people you harm in the past, so you have negative affinities with them. So they still come back and try to find you to get payback as well. So in general, affinities could be positive affinities or negative affinities, so good affinities or bad affinities. And you don't necessarily need to worry about only good affinities. It could be bad affinities as well. Okay, if you're skilled enough, sometimes you have to create bad affinities with people. Okay, because sometimes, for example, some of the ghosts and demons who bother you, okay, and they won't let go. So sometimes we have to beat them up, like in the movies. Have you seen this movie where it's very violent? And the hero take a fist and beat like this. It's like so stupid. You don't hit people like this. Taekwondo, it's contrary to karate, kung fu, taekwondo, kuksu, you name it. You don't beat people like this. But the movies, they go like, and then the next scene you see is bloody face and bloody mouth. Oh, it's not real. This is like stroking people's head. You beat people, you take a baseball bat, and you take two hands, and you whack them. Okay. Okay, so anyway, yes. So that's called summer retreat. And this is kind of funny that he brought up, and it bothered me, actually. Because, you see, the concept here is that Shakyamuni Buddha conducted summer retreats himself. And then the Dharma Master Shuha brought to our country is none. That bothered me. I say, so we don't have the full Dharma anymore? If Buddha did it, how come we not? Yes, Way Mountain.
Thank you, Master. You had me at beating people with baseball bats. You're speaking to my Sicilian ancestry there. But only to have it enter
No,
in.
it's just, in Sicily, we use, you guys use a shotgun that has a flare thing on the top so that it flares out.
Like in The Godfather.
Yeah, The Godfather, yeah, that one. I love that gun.
Yeah, Sonny.
I cannot collect guns, that's why, but I admire that. It's so beautiful piece.
In terms of skillful means to establish negative affinities with somebody, I only wanted to mention the possibility of American wrestling, such as the Stone Cold Stunner, or a pile driver, or many of the other various tools at the disposal of the American wrestlers. They seem to be visually, and the crowd likes it a lot.
Indian wrestling, Mexican wrestling too.
Yeah.
I love Mexican wrestling.
But Master, it makes me think of Brady's comment yesterday, where he was talking about how can we have respect for people that do bad things, and it's a pretty profound concept that creating a negative affinity with someone can help them, because at the time in my life when I've experienced it, I don't think it's helping me at all, but in retrospect, those negative affinities have made me stronger and helped me realize things that I wouldn't have otherwise taken note of.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, this is the Buddha Dharma. When you're weak, we tell you, do the good karmas, be a good person. But when you have wisdom, okay, you will understand that in evil, there's goodness. In goodness, there's evil. So you no longer discriminate between good and bad. But he's not there. His disciples are not there. I'm teaching you the advanced version of it. Yes, Master YongHua said, this is fundamental Buddhism. Be a good person, do the proper things. But I'm teaching you that when you have real wisdom, not the kind of wisdom he's teaching, this is why his teaching is limited. Okay? That's why I had to change for you. Because if I talk like that to you, some of you will say, I disagree. And then you quit. So Master is like Chinese, too Chinese. Okay? And so when you have wisdom, when your skills are more advanced, then there's no more discrimination between good and bad. No more. All right? You to bed.
Oh, I guess that's me. Thank you, Master. We have a question from Ignacio Guerra. Is that Nacho?
Maybe. It sounds the same, like the same name.
It does,
But
doesn't it?
let me hear the question, then I can tell whether it's a real Ignacio or chatbot.
Okay.
We have to be careful nowadays.
Oh, we do. Yeah. Emitofuo, Master. If you go to the hells, do you keep your affinities with others? Thank you, Master.
Oh, I love to keep affinities with others, especially when I go to hells. Thank you for asking. So clearly, it's such a stupid question. It must be a real person. Just kidding. Wherever they reside, they would stay put. Okay, this is summer retreat. Okay, it's very strict. You're not supposed to move around. And the reason is that you don't want to hurt. In the summertime in India, there's lots of rain. It's a rainy season, so a lot of bugs try to run away from being drowned. So they're all over the streets, the road, everywhere. So you walk, you're bound to crush them. So the Buddha was teaching them about compassion. Okay? It's not so much, it's so strict where you have to be confined to this. But let me tell you, if you only see that as you crushing the earthworms, the cockroaches, you are not also seeing a lot of beings you're crushing, like right now, when you walk on the ground, you're crushing a lot of small things that you can't even see. You're killing them. Every time you step on something, you're killing a bunch of things, of beings. And then the next bunch of things, the next bunch of things. So you see, Buddha did it because he wanted to teach them, the Indians, compassion. Is that clear? You agree with me? To say that you have to be there because you don't want to kill these things and so forth, then maybe an extension of the truth, maybe you shouldn't be walking at all. You're killing a lot of beings. Okay? So anyway, so another reason for the summer retreat is that you spend time studying sutras, studying the text, the scriptures, and meditating, and you opening your wisdom. So you invest the time, you devote the time. That's very important. You allocate the time during the year for 3 months in the summer, and to cultivate to the exclusion of everything else. All right? So that's the concept behind the summer retreat. Okay? And they sat down one place and one a summer retreat in this country, but the Buddha, the people were cold to him. They didn't come to support. Summer retreat, of course, a lot of people, so there must be local support. Okay, and there's no one who came to welcome the Buddha and offer the support. The Buddha is taking a summer retreat, and it's a summertime, so he can't walk very far either. So what to do? Not to settle. Anju, not the Buddha to spend the summer. Anju here refers to jie anju, or to spend the summer. See, isn't that amazing? We have this. In Wei Mountain, we have a young man, and here we also have it. It's so cool. So much suffering. You're fasting, right? Is she fasting? See? So it's cleansing your stomach. It's secreting a lot of acid. Okay? So that's why you have to. Korean YouTube.
루시 강민성님의 질문입니다. 아미타불 마스터, 질문을 드릴 수 있게 돼 정말 감사합니다. 능엄주를 지송하면 음욕심이 줄어든다는 법문 내용을 보아서 더 자주 능엄주를 접하려고 합니다. 그래서 외출할 때나 사람들이 있는 곳에 혼자 이어폰을 통해 능엄주 파일을 들어도 괜찮은지 여쭙고 싶습니다. 감사합니다.
Thank you, Master. This is from Kang Min-seok. Emitofuo, Master. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to ask a question. When I recite Shrangama mantra, I heard that the Shrangama mantra will decrease dark and greed mind. So after I heard this from the Dharma talk, I try to recite as much as I can. So when I go out and there are people around me, can I still hear the Shrangama mantra through headset? Is that okay? Thank you.
I suppose you can. if you like. But instead of worrying so much about yourself when you're outside, why don't you just recite Medicine Master Buddha's name silently so that you benefit yourself and all around you as well? All right? Thank you for asking the question. Back to slide 21. So the Buddha's disciple Makayana, when he showed up, their people were happy. 你可来了. There you are. Finally. He finally came. That's okay. It's very Chinese. Finally, there you are. Okay. They bowed and welcomed Moggallana. And how come there's a difference in the treatment? Okay, so before we continue with this, and this is a concept about affinities and so forth, okay, let me ask you before I forget. Remember, I said that it used to bother me that why that the Indians have summer retreats and some Chinese temples have summer retreats, but Master Hsuan Hua temples would not have summer retreats. Okay? And is that a question or answer to my question, Wei Mountain?
It's a question, Master, not the answer.
Go ahead, ask the question.
Thank you, Master. Speaking of affinity, how can we cut off our affinity with manic ghost?
How can we what?
Cut off our affinity with manic ghost.
You cut it off when it's time to cut it off. That's how you cut it off. You cannot live your life and say, I want it this way. That's not cultivation. Take this problem away. Take it away. No, Master, take it away for me. That's not cultivation. Cultivation is you endure it. And you need to pay the ghost. That's called cultivation. Cultivation does not promise that we help you skip town and erase all karmic debts. Cultivation, we teach you to cultivate. And part of cultivation is to pay off your karmic debts, whether you like it or not. So, pussies, stop asking me to take it away for you. You're supposed to endure it. Doesn't matter where you are, who you are, how long you've been with me, you still have to endure it. I have to endure my disciples too, all of you, whether I like it or not, whether I have affinities or not, I still have to endure you. Okay? I didn't ask Master Hsuan Hua to say, make them go away, or ask Amitabha Buddha, make them go away. Guan Yin, please help me. I endure. Come on, don't be such a pussy. You should have the attitude. Goody, man and ghost, come more, hurt me more, give me a real hard time, drive me crazy. The more, the better. Okay? Okay, everyone, is it clear? Thank you for asking. A lot of people, especially, the Taiwanese, the Chinese, now it's Korean, they keep on asking, Master, is there a way for us to speed it up so that I won't have this problem anymore? That's not cultivation. Okay? Yes, Wei Mountain.
Master, this is just a comment. Yesterday, hit someone's car at work and got distracted all day, scattered all day, and recite Buddha's name, but didn't stop the harassment. And then later on, I was just said to myself, like, well, hey, whatever I did, I'm sorry to the ghost. And then I got some spiritual response or whatever. But yeah, it's just got to endure the tough days and keep practicing. So thanks for letting me share.
Very good. Yeah, sometimes this is why we repent. To repent and reform means that we say we're sorry and we promise not to do it again. Okay? And it works. It really works sometimes. Okay? Most of the time it doesn't. And that's why the bottom line is still endure, man. Okay? Bring it on. Yes, 8.
매닉 고스트에 대한 이야기가 나와서 제가 오늘 꿈이 있어서 질문이 생겨서 질문 드리게 되었습니다. 제가 꿈에서 한 번에 딱 2가지 씬을 보았는데 그 2가지 씬에서 제가 가지고 있는 진화가 일어나는 트리거가 되는 상황을 마주하게 대부분의 트리거, 가장 대표적인 트리거가 되는 상황들을 마주하게 되었는데요. 그 상황들에 대해서 돌이켜 보니까 대부분 탐하는 마음과 내가 옳다고 생각하거나 이 상황에서 내가 이렇게 하는 게 정당하다고 생각하는 어리석은 마음에서 비롯된 화가 대부분이었던 것 같습니다. 그래서 이 부분이 화가 난다라는 것이 보통 탐하는 마음과 어리석음에서 일어나는지 혹은 그냥 화 자체만으로도 발생하는 경우가 있는지 질문드리고 싶습니다.
So, Master, I'd like to discuss about 2 scenarios. I had a dream, but it's about being angry, and there was situation that I saw certain red buttons in the situations. I realized in that situation, what causes the anger was my greed, and then stupidity. Also, that my mind was thinking that I am right, and it justified the situation why I'm angry. So my question is, when I get angry, is it from the greed or stupidity or just from anger? Thank you.
It doesn't matter where it's from right now, where you are. For now, when you get angry, you know already you're not supposed to. But you cannot help yourself. So, you cross your legs and don't act upon your anger and wait and sit there and meditate until it goes away. If you can't do that, it doesn't go away, then get some help, because it means that it's too strong for you. Okay? And there's no need to understand why. Is it greed, is anger, stupidity, and so forth. Whatever it is, it's not that important. You don't need to understand everything. You just need to know what to do to address the problem. If you do that, you can fix the problem, you can overcome the obstructions, then eventually you understand why. And there will be a time where you understand why, but not now. Now understanding is not that helpful to you. It's much more important. Part of you right now, part of the training for you right now is building blocks. You need to learn, all of you need to learn. Endure. No excuse. It's difficult, you endure. And more, and more, and more. It should be automatic. That's all. If you can't take it anymore, go back to your room and get some rest and sleep and cry. Okay? But then once you recover, come back and do more. Okay? You too.
Thank you, Master. You have a question from Chris. Master, is there a difference between reciting the full Shurangama mantra, 554 lines, versus the shorter versions, for example, the Dazuto and Chitoni, in terms of benefits and effectiveness? Thank you.
Of course, there's a huge difference between reciting the full mantra, all 554 lines, versus one line, versus 15 lines. Okay, of course, it's a lot more effective when you recite the big mantra. Okay, yes. 2.
This is a new question. So, Master, earlier when you were mentioning about in evil there's goodness, in goodness there's evil, can you elaborate more on that? Because it just seems like it's a nice Buddhist concept, but when we're seeing evil, most of us, I guess for me, it's hard to not discriminate and not hard for me to see goodness is in there. And then when I see goodness, it's hard for me to see evil in there. So do they exist at the same time or?
Yes, they do. For example, would you agree that snake is evil? Take a very concrete example. A snake, a rattlesnake, is evil, right? Its job is to kill you. That's the definition of evil. Evil is that I kill you. As soon as they see you, they want to kill you. Yeah? Is there goodness there? I see goodness. You don't? I used to have a Dharma brother at Master Shenhua's temple. And he's managing, he's in charge, not really a manager, he's just caretaker of a plot of land, 20 acres, where they grow walnut trees. Okay? And the walnut trees, they're very good, by the way. And so the walnut trees, when during the growing season, the squirrels go crazy. They climb up and they eat all the walnuts. And the more walnuts they eat, the more babies they make. As they have more and more squirrels. It's endless. So every year, there's more and more squirrels and fewer walnuts. It turns out that underneath the house he lives in, I was there for a few weeks. Under the house there's a hole, and I went there for a retreat, and then he says, when you walk out the house, make sure you wear some boots. I say, why? He says, because under the house there's a lot of snakes. He said, why don't you chase them away? He says, oh, the snakes eat the squirrels. So that's why the first time I learned about there's evil, in evil there's goodness. Snakes are good for walnut trees. Yes, 8.
그러니까 부처님, 선화사님께서 말씀하시는 악이라는 것과 악의 정의와 저 같은 낮은 중생이 정의하는 악이 다른 건지는 모르겠는데, 제가 정의하는 악은 자신의 번뇌가 감당이 안 돼서 다른 사람을 해치는 걸 저는 악이라고 규정하거든요. 때란 여기까지.
So, Master, there's some difference maybe when we call something evil. For example, Great Master YongHua, the definition of evil to him is different from my level. I'm such a lower existence. When I think about evil, is when a person cannot handle his or her own affliction, so they try to hurt others.
You're thinking too much.
그런데
It's
이제 방금
okay. Don't go there. You're thinking too much. Okay? Don't try to analyze too much. It's okay. Doesn't matter. So talk. Continue anyway. You want to say no, but you continue. Say no to me is also yes. In my no, there's yes.
이제 저는
You want an example in good there's evil? Let me tell you an example in good there's evil. A mother who's so protective of her child that she takes care of all her child's needs, made tremendous sacrifice of herself in order to take care of her child. That is goodness, yeah? But when the child grows up, he's totally unprepared for self-sufficiency, how to deal with evil people. So the child is basically the person becomes a big baby. So, in other words, the mother ruined the child's future. So in goodness, there's evil. That's how you can destroy someone's life. There's a time where you're supposed to learn. Okay? When you're younger, you're supposed to learn certain things. You become a teenager, you're supposed to learn certain things. You become in your 20s, you're supposed to learn other things and so forth. Okay? And you deprive them of that, they're ill-prepared for life. That is evil. I've seen too often people in the name of love, how they're hurting others, especially the ones they really love. It's so sad. I see it all the time. Continue, please. Sorry.
그래서 이제 제가 뒤에 말을 하려고 했던 부분은 결국에는 계속 분별하지 말아라 하지만 다른 분들은 모르겠어요. 저는 자동적으로 분별이 되거든요. 그리고 사람이라는 게 제가 심리학을 전공해서 그런지 모르겠지만 관계 패턴이 있기 때문에 지금 당장 나하고 벌어졌던 일이 또 다른 사람하고도 이렇게 타깃이 옮겨져서 벌어지고 있더라고요. 일단 여기서 한 번 또 끊을게요.
So, in the end, it doesn't matter, but I still says no discrimination, but I still automatically discriminate. If I had a certain situation with one person and that continued with others and become a different targets.
그래서 제가 좀 정말 분별하지 말라고 하시고 선과 악이 결국엔 악 속에 선이고 선 속에 악이 있다고 하는데 도저히 납득이 안 돼서 현대까지 제 수준에서는 결국에는 그냥 이해관계의 문제인가, 좀 전에 말씀하셨던 호두나무를 사이에 둔 뱀과 다람쥐처럼 이해관계의 문제라고 제가 좀 그렇게 분별하지 않은 그 지금의 단계에서 할 수 있는 게 그건지를 제가 질문드리고 싶었습니다.
So you said no discrimination, and there's goodness in evil, and there's a goodness in evil, and also there's evil in goodness. So at my level, I was gonna ask, my question was that, is it the problem that it's so hard for me to understand and try to be not to discriminate? Is my understanding level? Is that the problem?
I forgot what your problem is. I'm so sorry. Too complicated. You think too much.
제가 도저히 안 돼가지고 어떻게 하면 될까 좀 스트러글 하는 거라서 그 과정을 좀 체크해 본 거거든요.
Which means drop it.
내려놓으라는 뜻이.
It doesn't matter why. Just drop it. Okay? It doesn't matter whatever it is. When I tell you, drop it, you drop it. Learn that. That's a lesson. When I tell you to stop, you stop. When I tell you to drop it, you drop it. Because you don't understand. I don't have time to explain to you. Just drop it. It's not good for you. Just drop it. It's not necessary for you to hang on to it. Drop it. Stop it. Anyone else? It doesn't look like we have time to finish. We'll continue tomorrow night. Thank you, everyone.